Hey everyone, welcome to the Mental Playbook with Christie Dalgity. We're here to chat about all things mental health, share some awesome stories, educate, and advocate to break stigmas and gain power through knowledge for all ages and walks of life, and give you the tools you need to boost your mental game. So grab a coffee, get comfy, tune in, get inspired, and let's dive into some fascinating conversations. Remember, your mind is super powerful, and with the right tools and knowledge, you can master your mental playbook. And while you're doing that, take care of you. Hey everyone, welcome to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgity. Christine here, and today we're going to do another Q&A with Lily. We want to try to make this a regular thing because A, it's fun. I like doing it. And it puts me on the spot and challenges me a little bit. Everyone gets to know the real me a little bit more too. So here we go.
All right. So last time we had the little titles for the segment. I changed some of them because I was like, you said it, the way you said it didn't make any sense. So I was like, okay, I'll change.
Well, no, but I said it wrong too because I said, we went right from the huddle. But the huddle happens before every play. So,
Okay.
so
Right.
it's, yeah.
Maybe I'll switch it back next time.
It's all good.
We'll see. Because maybe it's not, it doesn't even make sense. But anyways, okay.
We'll go
All right.
with it.
So segment 1, the warm up.
Okay.
So those are quick little fun warm up questions.
She has to say that because I talk too much, but okay.
The first question, what is your coffee order at like Tim Hortons or Starbucks or wherever you go to get coffee?
I go to get coffee in my kitchen.
Amazing. What's the recipe?
Keurig. If I just went to Starbucks yesterday, actually, I was on a staycation and I had a medium blonde with 1 sugar and 1 cream.
All right. Simple. Love it.
I am a regular kind of girl.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah.
Do you do anything at home differently?
Real exciting. I put collagen in my coffee at home, a scoop of collagen.
That's good.
That's about
That's about it.
as exciting as I get. I mean, depends. Like Christmas, I'll put Wayne Gretzky cream or something in it, but no. Or like we have Vodka here in Elmont, and they have Vodka cream, and I always get the 4-pack Christmas morning for everybody, and so I'll put maple cream or something in it. But it's good.
Yeah, the vodka stuff is so good.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm pumped for this Christmas. What was your first ever job?
Oh, first ever.
Yeah, if you remember it.
I do. I mean, I babysat a lot.
Yeah.
My first job
Yeah.
was at Mama's Place restaurant when I was 14. I started bussing tables.
Right.
And then I went to waitress, and I all through high school. My best friend Connie and I, and my other friend Tammy, we waitressed. Sometimes it was like Saturday mornings. It may just be me. And I had the dining room, the upstairs and everything. And I remembered every order. I didn't even have to write it down. It's when my brain was better when I was a teenager. Now I'm like, get the groceries. Everything. Brush your teeth.
Yeah. That's fair.
Waitress all through high school.
That's cool. If you had to give a TED Talk on something other than therapy, what would it be?
Something other than therapy. Like mental health, everything. Like I can't do like behavior or anything.
Yeah, like if you could do something else than that, but if your only thoughts are mental health, that's okay.
That isn't my only thoughts. I think my other thing that I mean, my cat's trying to join us here. Obviously, I love sports, but I don't know what I'd give a TED Talk on about that. But I would give a TED Talk on, I think, like interior design and stuff like that, because I love doing that stuff.
Okay.
I did my sister renovated the whole upstairs, and I picked every single thing out with her. I love doing that. So I don't know how good I'd be at a TED Talk because it's not my, but yeah, I would do something like that, something fun. Like this is colors to put together and the vibe to go with and that sort of thing.
Did you learn by just doing, or did you take like a small course, or
I learned by, well, other than obviously my profession, everything I learn, I just kind of watch videos, and I do cake decorating, and I used to do it on the side. It was my travel fund. Now I'm too busy. I just do it for special cake, like family stuff. But I like did some pretty cool cakes and everything, made them look like Xboxes, and I took fondant and formed them into like Winnie the Pooh and everything, and on top of the cake. And I did all that just watching videos, learning how to do each thing and all the crafty stuff and the interior design stuff too. Just Pinterest and watching videos, and then people come in here, and I mean, you can't see too much of it in the podcast, but and they're like, who is your designer? And I said, Christie Dalgity and Pinterest. And then at the office too, people are like, did you get a designer to come in? And I'm like, Christie Dalgity and Pinterest.
So from what I'm getting, you're very creative. That's what I'm learning.
I'm very creative. Not many people know that about me because I'm so cerebral, right? Like I'm so analytical and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm also very creative. Yeah.
That's so fun. So fun. What's a book that really stuck with you? That can be on anything.
A book that really stuck with me.
Yeah, like.
I think one book that really stuck with me was Tuesdays with Morrie. And I was just talking to one of my therapists about it the other day because we were doing supervision online, and I saw her bookshelf, and I was like, is that, Tuesdays with Morrie are the 5 people you meet in heaven. And I think that, I mean, there's been a lot of books, like I do read, like I have those books here that were really good too and stuck with me, but like more personal, like I can tell you 100 books psychological that stuck with me for various reasons, but personal books. Tuesdays with Morrie, somebody told me to read it and they said that I'd really appreciate it. So I was like, okay. So I start reading it when my mom was sick.
Okay.
And it's about his neighbor who had ALS, which is what my mom had. So I was reading the journey of this man with ALS while my mom was going through the journey.
Oh my God.
So it was like, whoa, but it was also it really stuck with me because it also told me that even though like this journey that you go with this disease is, everybody feels it, like it's, yeah. So that book really stuck with me. And the 5 people you meet in heaven, I thought that was pretty cool too.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Same author.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving on to segment 2. I called it the first half.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yep. First half. Yeah.
So these are some listener questions and like questions from our socials.
Okay.
So number 1, is it a bad thing to keep saying, oh, I'm depressed, that's why I act like this, or I have anxiety, that's why I don't or can't do this? Is it a bad thing?
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I think that it keeps us stuck. So I'm very much, as you know, someone who's like, name it, acknowledge it, label it, and move through it, right? So it's like, I have depression, and this is why I think this way, or I behave this way. Okay, now what do I need to do? I remember I had a student once, and she was just little, and her parent used to always say this to her. And so then she came up to me and she said, I am autism, right? And I was like, no, sweetie, you're not autism, right? You have autism. I think that when we identify with the disorder, we become the disorder. So I think it's really important to identify it, identify where it comes from. The reason I tell people to identify where it comes from is because then you know how to move through it, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's because of this. And so this is what I need to do.
Yeah. We're hearing it a lot that people are saying like, oh, I'm autistic. That's why I talk like that. And I'm not a professional in this industry at all. So, but I'm very curious. I'm like, what does that change in your life? Like, why do you make it so like your personality now?
Yeah, I think that's society too. We have to justify why we think or act a certain way. And I think that that's a big reason why people do that too, right? It's like society's so judgmental as a whole that we have to say, oh, I'm doing this because of this. It can't just be, this is, I'm just doing it,
Yeah.
right? I've said before that, we've talked in the office sometimes that sometimes people are happy when they get a diagnosis.
Yeah.
Right. And other people are like, why would you be happy to be diagnosed with depression or diagnosed with bipolar or whatever? It's because now I know why. Right. Now I have a reason. It's not just me. I'm not just, this is what people say I'm not, but crazy. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it gives them a reason, and you don't need a reason. You have depression. Yeah. You experience depression. I often use terms like that. You're experiencing depression. When I'm talking to clients, I say your anxiety brain or the anxiety brain, or the anxiety. I don't say your anxiety.
Yeah, I like heard of that or like saw that. Somebody was saying like start saying the anxiety so it doesn't like just become you.
That's right. It's a part of your brain, but it's not who you are.
Yeah. I broke my young teenager's trust. How can I rebuild it?
That's kind of a loaded question because it depends what you did, right? If you and it depends on perception, because let's say you suspected drug use, and so you went in and searched the room. To a teenager, they don't trust you, but as a parent, that's what you need to do. Excuse me. And so, however, regardless, if you break your young teenager's trust, then it's really important. I think you rebuild it, right? You, depending on what you do, you talk to your child about it, you explain why you did it, you apologize for it, and you do what needs to be done to rebuild that trust. But like I said, sometimes it's all in perception. I mean, I remember clients bringing stories of like, they walked into their child's room and put their clothes on the bed after doing the laundry, and the child said, "That's my room, and I don't trust you. You're going to look," right? So I think it depends on that stuff. But if you break trust because you've done something that is warranted to break trust, then you need to do the actions. A lot of times parents won't. They'll say, oh, "Get over it," right? Or they'll say, "I'm the parent." That's not going to build the trust.
No, exactly. Yeah. What role do daily habits and lifestyle play compared to therapy or medication?
Wow, you're getting me today. If I'm being absolutely honest, I think you should do all of them together, right? But I think that not necessarily the medication, but depending, but lifestyle and habits, you said?
Yeah. Daily habits
and lifestyle. I think that, okay, let's say you don't want to see a therapist. You don't want to talk to a therapist. That's fine. Cool. So then you need to incorporate self-care into your routine. Make it a ritual. You need to set boundaries, personal, professional boundaries. You need to take care of yourself physically, eating, moving, and mentally. Time to yourself, carving out, that's self-care, but still, yeah, you read books on self-help. Read, there's some really good ones out there. There's some that are but there's some really good ones out there. So do what's necessary to learn the techniques if you don't want to see a therapist. And I'm, again, not saying this because I am a therapist, but because I am, when I see the benefits of doing both, right? Because sometimes finding somebody who is not emotionally invested is not, helps. You can do all those things. You should do all those things, right? But then just having that, like learning how to do some of the skills, depending on what's going on. if you're not struggling with something, those things, setting boundaries and carving out time for yourself, saying no more, I think is probably daily habit that works. Sleep.
Yeah.
Get enough sleep.
Yeah. Your
brain and your body heal in your sleep. And you're about to have a baby, so yours is going to be interrupted. And good therapists, so I can help you with that.
Yeah, that's fair. Tips on making friends as an adult. I don't think we answered that one last time.
No, we didn't. I think a really cool thing about growing up and getting older is your views on friendship changes, and you meet different people throughout your adulthood, right? So depending, I still have my core friends that I've had since, like, some of them since I was 5 and some since I was 11, that they're my tribe, and we communicate almost every day and at least a few times a week, even ones that don't live here. So I have that tribe. But then as I got older too, like when my son was young and he was in hockey, there was the hockey parents became friends of mine, right? And when he played football, there was football parents that were so soccer, because he didn't play football and soccer in our community. He played, in the city. So I met different people. But then also when I was going to the gym and I was doing kickboxing, girls that were in that class became friends of mine, So I think it's about, and then like work friends and stuff like that. So I think it's about joining things, doing things, opening yourself up. I think we get in this, I'm working, I'm going home, I'm taking care of a family, go do a pottery class, go do pickleball is so big right now. My daughter-in-law plays and my brother plays, and they actually have played together because it's just a community thing that's happening. I have clients that come and say, "Oh, I met your daughter-in-law. She's really nice." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she says, "I met a client. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that." And I'm like, "You're allowed. If they told you, they were the only reason right?" And she's making different friends. And so I think it's just putting yourself out there. And I know that a lot of my clients say it's really hard as an adult to make friends. It is. However, when you're joining different things, then you're meeting people that have similar interests. It's not like when you're young and it's like you're all in a classroom together or you're all, it's still, you meet hockey friends, you meet baseball friends, you meet, when you're growing up, teammates, right? But it's different as an adult. You kind of pick and choose what you want in a friend, right? It's not like I'm going to invite everybody in my class to my birthday party, right? So I think that do things of interest and you'll meet people with the same interests too.
Yeah. I'm experiencing a little bit of it, and even with other friends, they talk about it. But I think it's because we also we are a little bit more picky as we get older, because we're like, "Oh, you did that. I really don't like that."
That's right.
So I'm not going to try and be friends with you. So I feel like, and when you're getting older, you're getting more like, this is who I am almost. Yeah,
for sure. And it's not about quantity as we get older, it's quality, right? And we don't need, when you're younger, the more friends you have, popularity, when you get older, it's like I can have 2 friends that are in alignment with me. But also, what we talk often in society and the judgment and stuff, we do get, we see things and we're like, no, instead of putting ourselves out there.
Yeah. It's tough.
It is tough for sure.
Are we sheltering kids too much from failure and stress?
Yes.
Amazing. That's it. That's all.
Yes, with exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Amazing.
We're not allowing them to experience failure. We're not allowing them to lose. And if they do, that could be a whole podcast in itself. Actually, I think sports and kids is going to be a whole podcast, but it's a bubble wrap generation, right? I think I see it changing a little bit with some parents with little ones. Like I know my son sometimes I'm like, no, bubble wrap them a little more, right? Because they're my grandchildren.
Yeah.
But he's like, and his friends, they're not really doing that. But we jump in front of them so they don't fail. We make sure that they don't fail. I mean, in Ontario for a while, just as a society, not just parenting, like when I was working in education, teachers weren't allowed to give high school students 0.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that might have been actually when you were in high school.
I think I started hearing that when I was in high school, but I don't know if it was true or not.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Yeah.
Or they had, like, if they didn't hand in an assignment, they had till the end of the semester to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they failed, they could do credit recovery and do a couple of things. If kids aren't going to school, they have graduation coaches and stuff now that will help them. Like they'll do things that, you walk to school every day, that could be a fitness credit. Right? And people think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. There's things like that is just, no, they have to, you failed because you didn't put the work in. Right?
Yeah. It's very interesting that we're in that mindset when the real world isn't like that.
No.
Like you can't just not go to work. You can't just not hand in something.
Yeah. And it's a fine line because I often say teenagers aren't adults in the process of becoming an adult, but they still have to learn boundaries. Children have to learn structure and boundaries. And the only way you build resilience is if you experience conflict, right? Like if you experience challenges, we build resilience by overcoming challenges.
Yeah.
We learn from making mistakes. And if we're never allowed to make a mistake, we have to hear no. Because that's when you see, some of the stuff that we see on social media. It's, I saw this one on social media where, and that's the other thing, parents are posting these videos. I'd be like in hiding, I think, but where the parents took the daughter's phone away from her as a punishment. And the older sibling sent them a video when they were at work, and she took a pickaxe to their truck.
I saw that.
Did you see that too? Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
And the scary thing is people were also saying, so she never got her phone back, right? So you called the police, right? But then, people were saying, she needs to express herself and she was upset. What? No, like that's society's thinking. And yeah, I could go on forever about it. People often ask me, what do you think of the generation, like our next generation? And I said, we are going to have a society of people with really high self-esteem and no resiliency or coping skills. That's disaster.
Yeah. Would you put the whole gentle parenting in a category with that, like in the same category, or is it kind of different? I mean, it depends also.
That's hard. It is kind of like that. I might get a lot of backlash about this. I understand it to a certain degree. I think we need a happy medium, right? I don't totally agree with it because, again, we need to teach them boundaries, but also allow them to feel what they're feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just use an example. Even my granddaughter, who was 2 at the time, was staring like, what is happening right now? We were at my grandson's skating, and there was a little person there that was about 6, I would say, and didn't want to go skating. And this little person, the mom got down eye level. This was like gentle parenting. Not that you should get down at eye level with your children. Got down at eye level and I really think you should go skating because I think, that you'll have a lot of fun. I was like, okay, cool. Because they were right next to us. And the little girl punched the mother in the mouth. I guess it doesn't matter. It's not a client. And the mother said, wow, you're having a really big feeling right now. And I think that you should go skating. And the little girl hit the mother again. And then the dad gets down and says, okay, these are big feelings and we use gentle hands. We do not do, no, he didn't even say we do not. He said, we use gentle hands to express ourselves. Can you use gentle words and gentle hands? And she kicked dad with her skate on and like in the leg. And dad said, wow, that hurt me. Could we express it in a different way? And I'm looking at them. Edie, who's 2, is like, she's probably thinking, whoa, I'd be like, and my sister looks at me and she goes, yeah, that could be over my shoulder and in the car and home. Right. And then my daughter-in-law was like, wow, like, and everyone was kind of looking, that's not teaching that child anything.
Yeah.
That's not, kids will hit. And the minute they hit, it's like, no, that's not okay. And yeah, people will say, yeah, but then you take them away from skating and that's what, they got what they wanted. You take them away from skating, but because forcing them on the ice is going to it could be dangerous for the other kids if that's what they're doing. But, and it's not fair to the coaches to have to deal with that. But then you take them home and you discipline them and you take things, right? You don't take them home and let them do whatever they want, free reign. So yeah, I think that we need something in the middle of, I understand you're having big emotions. That is not tolerated, right? You will not hit your mother. And we do not hit people. It's not, right? Like, I think we need to combine it.
Yeah.
You just tore apart your room. Okay, well, you showed me how upset you were. Now clean it up.
Yeah.
Right? Mostly you just showed me how upset you were. And so I think that there's good parts of gentle parenting.
Yeah.
But we need to bring in some of the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I definitely, like, from what I'm learning and all that, it's just like the gentle parenting is to, like, at least get them to process the emotion. But it's to teach them, like, just because you did your processing doesn't mean you get to react like that.
That's right. That's right. And it's like, yeah, I understand why you're having, this is what I would do. And I understand you're having these really big emotions right now. Can you tell me what that emotion is? Not if they hit me, if they're like really like, right? Can you tell me what that emotion is? If they can't, then talk about it with them, right?
Yeah.
And then say, I understand that you're feeling angry, but we don't do that. And so now you need to have a timeout to think about what you were doing, and then we'll talk about it again, right?
Yeah.
Or you need to, I know people don't agree with timeouts, but I used to call them take 5. You need to take 5, and then we're gonna discuss what we do next.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Then they're processing. Or you don't get your tablet for 30 minutes because, right? And they'll have a fit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that people are like, and I can't know, like, I'm not there yet, but they don't want their kids to have a fit. And then it's like, but it's fine if they do. Like,
that's
they
right.
Cry on the ground safely. It's like,
absolutely. Kids, especially small kids, they can't articulate feelings very well. And that articulation comes out in behavior. So if they're lying on the floor crying, okay, walk away, tell them, when you're ready to talk, I'm over here. They will come to you.
Yeah.
They will, they're not going, and if they're safe, then depending on the age, right? Because little ones, they're half the time, if it's like a 2-year-old or something, as soon as you walk away, they're like, and they get up and go, right? But they have to process it. And that's part of the jumping in. That's part of the bubble wrap stuff where it's like, and then jumping in. And then you get out in public and people don't want others to think they're bad parents and stuff. And sometimes I remember with Ryan, I was a solo parent, like I've said, and I was very young. And so there's this stereotypical, a young mother, blah, 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 which I was none of those things. And our rule was always, and he was 2 at the time, and we were at a giant tiger, and our rule always was, if you ask for anything, you will not get anything. If I tell you can have something, you get one thing. Right? And he was really good, and that's what my mother did. And so with us, and so he was really good with it. And he barely, I could take him to restaurants and everything. He was very, very well behaved. And that one day I said, okay, you can pick out one thing. And he wanted two things. And he started to have a fit. So I took both of them and I put them both back. And he said, no, I want one. And I was like, no, now you get none. Right? And so he's tantruming. I'm leaving the store. I'm trying to hold him, carry him out. And he's doing that back arching, screaming, trying to kick me. And then I'm talking with my teeth. I'm like, that is enough. We're going to the car, and people are looking. And I remember there's there was some other women in there that were I was 23. But there was women in there that were in their 40s, and they're like, oh, we get it. Right. As I'm trying to take him out. And this one older woman looked at me and she goes, typical. And I was like, oh, lady, not today, Satan, not today. Because I'm trying to so there is that. But nowadays it's even worse with the judgment. So that can be, it's very controversial, the whole gentle parenting thing.
It's hard. I think, like you said, people would take it too far. Got to find a middle.
Absolutely.
Because,
when I was growing up, it's because I said so. I don't need to give you an explanation. Go to your room.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have the other, it's over explaining and it's over. And no, we need to let them feel it, explain, discipline. Kids need discipline to learn. So discipline, not necessarily punishment.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. We're going to go a little bit easier.
Thank you.
I think.
I don't want to get canceled.
You only get canceled if you let it happen. No. Segment 3, halftime break.
All right.
What's one hobby you've always wanted to try but never have?
Oh.
I honestly had a feeling this would be a little bit hard because I feel like you're somebody that would just try it.
I was just going to say, I was literally just going to say, usually if there's something I really, really want to try, I just do it. I at least try it. I wanted to knit. I tried knitting. I suck at that. But I still tried it, and I made my mother a scarf. And then it unraveled. But I made it for her. There's not, honestly, I can't really think of anything that, a hobby that I really wanted.
Like sports, winter sports.
I did that. I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, downhill skiing and stuff. Nope, high school when they made me go. And my friend took me down the expert hill, my first go. And then I hit a jump, didn't know, and told my gym teacher, Mr. Spratt, said, Spratter, you'll find me in the lodge. And I never skied again. So, I mean, hockey and stuff like that. I think that I would say more, I wish I had the skill to do. I wish, because I am creative, I would love to be able to paint, right? And them look like something. To draw and paint. I have a client who can look at you, and she's 20 now, and sketch. And when she was 13, when I started seeing her, and she was she did these sketches that it was like someone took a picture. You know how now you can take pictures, make them look like charcoal and stuff? And I always wish I could do something like that. But that's skill, not...
Yeah.
Because I do try it.
Yeah.
I could maybe do paintings like that. Abstract, just brush strokes.
Yeah. If you wrote a book, what would it be about?
I've actually thought often. That's not next. That's on my list, is to write a book. But more, I think I would write a book just about life.
Like your life or
I think about my life, but in a way, like I've said it here before, and I said it to my friends on the weekend, that because one of my friends was saying how many things she'd want to change in her life. And I said, I wouldn't, right? And like I've said here before, of course, if I could have my parents back, absolutely. But even what I went through with them at different points in my life made me who I am today. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if certain things in my life didn't happen, right? And so I would like to write a book about life's journey and kind of giving people permission to just live their life's journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to write a book on that, saying, things suck sometimes and that's okay. And you're allowed to say that you're a rock star sometimes and, talk about the good parts of your life. And just kind of like clients often say to me, what's the point? You're born and you die. Mm-hmm. And then I often say to them, it's the dash. There's that saying on a tombstone, on a headstone, there's your birth date and your death date, but it's separated by a dash. The dash, right? That's the life part. And maybe I'll write a book called The Dash.
That's deep. It's actually kind of deep.
That just like popped in my head. But yeah, I think that people need permission just to live their lives. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm like this God that's going to give them permission, but
No, yeah.
Just that we go, I think that I don't truly believe in regrets. Mm-hmm. Because I think that we live our lives, we make decisions based on what we know to be true in those moments and the information we have. And I mean, if you intentionally hurt somebody, then you can regret that. Mm-hmm. But even that is still what was going on in that moment. But you could go so deep, like infidelity and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that you can have regrets for that, but that's intentionally hurting somebody.
Yeah. If your younger self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
That I'm as confident as I am. Mm-hmm. Because I was not. And I still have room for confidence, but I'm so much more confident now than I ever was in my life. And I think doing all this stuff has increased it even more just in the last, 10 months? Yeah. 8 months? However long we've been doing this.
The podcast?
Yeah. I think the podcast and the videos. Right? I think they started in February, the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then the podcast in May. Mm-hmm. I think doing all of that has helped me build confidence too. Because, this is scary. And I was telling my friends that on the weekend too. I said, if you want to be humbled, do something like this because, sometimes the videos, especially when you do the close-ups for the, the promos for the podcast, you do the close-ups. I'm like, oh my word, I look like a sumo wrestler. It's like, what is that? And at first I'd be like, ah, and now I'm like, okay, but she's going to show the full podcast and it's going to show like me, like sometimes my head looks like, it's very humbling, but it builds my confidence too, because now I'm like, okay, well, that's who I am. And if people don't want to look at me, then don't look at me. Right. Which my little girl self would be like, yes, finally.
Yeah. What's your most used emoji?
Probably the rolling, laughing one.
Which one's that one again?
It's like kind of sideways and the tears are coming down, rolling. Yeah. And then with my friends and my family, some like my kid and stuff, sometimes I'll send the kissy one, not like in a weird way. Like, okay, love you, you know?
Yeah. Segment 4, second half.
There you go.
These are more listeners' stories or like a case study kind of thing. Okay. It's just a big paragraph one.
All right.
Just one question. I just got out of a long relationship where I ignored a lot of red flags, and I promised myself I never do that again. Now I'm dating someone new, and every little thing makes me paranoid. if they don't text back quickly, if they cancel plans once, if they pull away even slightly. Part of me knows I'm projecting old wounds, but part of me feels like maybe these are real signs I should listen to. I can't tell if I'm protecting myself or sabotaging something good before it has a chance to even grow. Thoughts?
Okay, first of all, I hear, like, this is common. This is very common. I hear this all the time, weekly. First thing I say to clients is that could be your intuition. It could also be a trauma-related thing. And a trauma does not necessarily have to be catastrophic. Trauma is times when, your equilibrium is turned upside down. And so what you know to be true and real is not. And things happen to you and you have no control over it. And so your safety is at risk, whatever safety it can be. Doesn't have to be physical safety, right? Emotional, mental, any financial, sexual, any safety is at risk. And so if you've had, a relationship like that long term, that means you're invested. That means emotions, that you've opened yourself up to this person, and then bad things happen. Right away, your brain is conditioned to protect you. And so it's going to create these scenarios and bring them into any relationship to protect you. And so just to explain what happens, your brain is like, if you put your hand on the stove and burn yourself, the minute you start to feel heat when you're near a stove, the brain says, whoa, don't do that, right? So if it's a relationship and you get really hurt, your brain looks for all the little things, becomes a detective to put all the clues together. And so what I say to clients is this. First, yes, we have intuition, but we also have the trauma. And so I ask them to make a list of all the ways that this new person is like the old person and all the ways they aren't. And 9 times out of 10, the ways they are like the other person is like this. And there are things that they feel like any person. Mm-hmm. And the ways that they're not like that person, like this, right? Sometimes they'll say, yeah, but they did this. Like, okay. How many times? Well, once. And when I said that they did it, they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, then how many times did the other person do it? Well, that was like a regular, okay. Right? Because your brain will start to, when I say check the facts, because that's what I say to all my clients, stick to the facts, the brain starts to say, it starts to make the facts kind of go towards the fear, right? So, yeah, but it happened one time, right? Are you looking for this person to be like the other? Because if you're looking for something to be like the other, you're going to create it. If you are so afraid that somebody, isn't texting fast enough, you're going to push them to the point where they're going to be resistant to text, right? Or you're going to make them so anxious they're going to text all the time too much, and then you're going to be like, holy, like, just back off a little, right? Like, you're creating problems. So stick to the facts, communicate with this person, explain why you have these insecurities. So often we don't want to hurt the relationship, and so we don't explain why we're having these insecurities. And that can sabotage the relationship. So chances are, if you've been really hurt, you're going to lean towards some self-sabotaging in the next relationship unintentionally. So it's really slow it down, talk to the person, find out ways this person is like the other and ways that they're not like the other. Ask yourself, am I exaggerating the situation? Ask yourself, is this a red flag or is it a fear? Is it happening all the time? Talk to people about it too if you want to. I wouldn't talk to really highly emotional friends or reactive friends. But if you have a friend that is pretty level-headed, a lot of my friends ask me these questions because of what I do, and I am pretty level-headed. I don't just say like, oh, hell to the no, right? I'm like, okay, but what do you think? It depends on what you want, right? So having someone like that can say, well, I don't know. I think that that's just something that he did or she did. I don't think it's, but if you're feeling it, watch for it a little bit. I think I just contradicted myself, but I'm just saying, like, you can still watch for it without like searching for it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? You can, if it's a red flag and you're like, okay, and they keep doing it, okay, they're actually doing it over and over, okay. Because I also don't want my clients to think that, I don't want them to get to a point where they ignore those red flags because Christine said, not this guy, this one guy, man, woman, whatever, doesn't mean that they're all going to be my ex. Christine said that. So he's probably really good. And then I could just ignore, right? Yeah. You may have a few that don't work out and there's red flags. But just be aware. Be factual. Don't lead with emotion and fear.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this makes sense or not, but because it depends on everything. It's also maybe like asking them, talking to them, like, why do you do this? Because for them, like, it might be like, for that person, it might just be like, why do it for this? It's not trying to cause harm.
That's right.
But if they don't have an answer, they just do it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
it does because I actually saw a video on I don't know what it was on, and it was like, oh yes, because what this guy said, it was a podcast, it was a clip of a podcast, and right now the big thing out there is, if he wanted to, he would.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I know people said that to me last fall, but a situation I was in, if he wanted to, he would. And maybe in that situation, that is true. However, this guy on this podcast said he hates that because he was in a relationship where the woman, he was texting her and like stuff that you and I probably would want, right? Like he would text her good morning. He would ask her how her day was going throughout the day. He would text her good night, or they'd talk on the phone. He'd call her, just checking in with her. And she broke up with him because she said he was too needy and texting too much. And so he gets into a next relationship and she says, I don't need you to text me all the time. Like we're both busy people, blah, blah. And so then he was so afraid to text her too much when she said that he would wait for her to text, and she broke up with him because he felt distant and he didn't, right? And he said, so when people say, if he wanted to, he would, I wanted to, but I also had my own trauma and issues from a relationship, right? So yes, to your point, when I say talk to them and communicate why, that's a really good opportunity for them to say, thank you, because this is why I do this, right? So yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, because that definitely happened. Like, my boyfriend would say something, and I'd be like, "Why are you saying that?" And he's like, "Well, that's how my ex cared." And I was like, "I hate that. So stop saying it."
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to find any therapist on this planet that doesn't say communication is key. We have to communicate because we're not mind readers.
Yeah. Communication and like being just open to what the other person says.
Absolutely.
There's that too. It's like you can communicate everything you want, but then if you're defensive about it, then it's just like, well, you're not letting that other person like talk and say what they feel without being judged. So now they're just never going to tell you the truth or something like that.
That's right. And then that's not communication.
No, exactly.
Right. Communication is back and forth, and yeah. We were definitely going to talk about that one day because I was talking to my brother and we were having a conversation. He was talking about communication and like it's key and all that. And I'm like, 100%, but you got to know how to communicate. Absolutely.
It's not just saying how you feel. There's a whole other so anyways.
Another podcast, folks. Another podcast.
All right. Overtime questions.
Okay.
So these are kind of a little bit more just like this or that.
Yep.
Okay.
So don't talk too much, Christine.
No, that's not what I'm saying. All right. So early mornings or late nights for reflection. So we can do it like your personal, and then if you would recommend differently for people.
Early mornings for me. Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both. Because early mornings is really good reflection on the day ahead. But life happens.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say late night because,
Yeah.
but nighttime reflection is a really good time to slow it down and reflect on the day that happened. So I would say both. And that is, I do tell my clients that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that too. I do tell my clients, have that ritual to start the day and just really reflect on things and start your day slowly. Reflect on what you plan to do that day. Reflect on, and at the end of the day, slow it down. Pick out something that is a blessing or that you're grateful for, and reflect on that day and what you can do differently or what was really good about that day. So, both.
Digital detox or mindful scrolling?
Mindful scrolling.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard one.
Yes, it is.
That's a hard one. I think that's, again, I think there can be a combination. I think I'm a big believer in you do anything you want to do with controls around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to do mindless scrolling, do it, set a timer,
Yeah.
right? I'm not big on doom scrolling. If you want to do mindful scrolling, I do that. I look at high protein recipes, right? And it's mindful. I'm going through, it's purposeful, but also I think like anything in moderation, but I also think digital detox is good for the soul too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good this or that, eh? I'm kind of a this and that.
It's not a bad thing, not a bad thing. But yeah, like the mindful scrolling thing is kind of, sometimes I do that, but without thinking of it being a mindful scrolling, but I'll be like, no, I just want to watch these videos right now. That's all I care about. So
Yeah. But like I said, even mindless scrolling sometimes is just like, you're just going, and then it's like, if you just need to like escape for a little bit, but in moderation. If you're mindlessly scrolling for 2 hours, no.
Yeah. The digital detox I like, but at the same time, it's like, what's your goal behind it? Because like when you come back to your digital stuff, like, are you still trying to be mindful about like how much you're intaking, or are you just going back to the habits you were doing before? And
Absolutely.
you're gonna have to take another one again.
And that's why I say moderation, right? Because anything we do, I don't believe in dry January. Sorry, folks. I don't believe in dry January. Because why are you doing dry January? So that you can drink your face off in February? Like, if you were doing dry January so that you can slow it down and people say, because it's good for my body. Moderational drinking it's not good for your body, but like, because anybody I know, quite honestly, that does dry January in February, like February 1st, they're like, right? What's that doing? If we deprive ourselves, if we like restrict calories, I'm not having any sugar for 2 months, if we do those kinds of things, the way our brains are wired is that the minute we know the deadline's over, then we're like, so yeah, to your point.
Yeah.
Why are you digital detox? So that you proved a point that you could go without it, and then you're like, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Walking in nature or sitting quietly indoors?
Walking in nature, if you can. Walking in nature. my previously recorded podcast that I posted about walking in fall, right? So I think that when you're walking in nature, you can be more mindful, right? Just because of nature. But if it's cold winter, find a nice spot in your house and reflect.
I have my beef with the winter thing a little bit.
Because you want to get outside in the cold?
No, not necessarily. I just think that I know that it's cold, it's uncomfortable, but I feel like we can get warm enough with all these jackets and mittens that
Absolutely.
it can be still a good thing. Now, I get the whole ice situation too. Like if there's ice on the ground, you gotta be careful. But so I know there's always but I'm always like, no, you can still do it. Like it's still super freaking pretty outside.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It's just some people hate being cold makes me physically angry. I have hypothyroidism too, so I really feel cold.
Oh, okay.
But don't get me wrong. There are times that I will. I mean, I'm born in Canada. I can handle the cold too, but you can get. We can wear enough layers that there's still times that And here's the thing: if you don't want to go out in the cold, you can and want to sit in the house. You can sit in the house and look out at the snow.
Yeah.
Right. It's still pretty to see all that stuff, but I totally agree with you. Yes. You can get warm enough, and being outside is still going for a walk and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's benefits to it.
Well,
and then,
sorry, just thought of something. Benefits too, because cold, if you're having a really hard time, cold resets your nervous system. So like a strategy that we do with clients that are highly emotional is to get them to hold ice or splash ice cold water on your face. I often say, go outside in the winter, step outside your door and feel the cold because it'll snap. Yeah. So there you go. Look at you, therapist. You've been hanging around me.
Yeah. Gratitude practice or self-compassion practice? Both.
I would probably go for self-compassion practice first, only because of the way that people, again, yes, this and that, not this or that for that again too, but people, okay, two things. One, people have a hard time with gratitude. Even the word gratitude. If someone is in like a deep depression, I had a client say to me once, I don't like the word gratitude, so I chose to say blessings, right? So, because I don't feel grateful right now. So I think because that's hard to get to, I think if you practice self-compassion, be kind to yourself, understand that you're a human being with weaknesses and strengths and mistakes and all of that, then you can have more gratitude. So I think self-compassion first.
All right. We're at final play. It's all you now. What's one question you want people to reflect on today, and why should they?
All right. So that same client who said about the blessing, and we were actually talking about this. And so it made me think about it. And I told her that I use it with clients sometimes, and she thanked me and said, that makes me feel so good, because she gets stuck herself. So years ago, she was going through something very, very difficult. And she said to me, everyone tells me I need to be strong, right? I need to be strong for my kids or, my parents I need to be strong. And she said, every morning I open my eyes and I decide what strong is for me today. I decide maybe getting out of bed is as strong as I can be today. She went through a pretty significant trauma. And she's like, then I'm strong. So, and if I can get out of bed and shower today, then I'm strong. And if I can make a phone call and if I can go to work. So my question to our audience today is to reflect on, what is your strong? Every day that you get up, I want you to open your eyes and ask yourself what your strength is today. You determine your own strength, not society's.
I like that one.
Okay.
That's deep.
That is deep.
I ended it on a great note. My jaw.
I'm not touching this mic because it'll start vibrating or something. That was fun again. I love these. This one, you put me on the spot more this time than last time.
I know.
Maybe it was because I was away in a girls' weekend too, and I'm like, my brain's a little off. Thanks for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions for us, we're going to, like I said, try to do these Q&As regularly. So if you have questions that you want us to address, please reach out. You can comment, DM us, whatever you'd like. Follow us on Spotify, share on both of them, and subscribe on YouTube. And take care of you.